So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Easy Conversations. Thanks a lot to everyone who listened to the last episode featuring the homie Matt and my wife Andy. Andy, you absolutely killed it on here, and we look forward to having you on again down the road. So now for episode 183 of Easy Conversations, I'm extremely excited, of course, to be back in the studio virtually with the homie Matt. So what's up with the people?
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day right now. I'm very excited for today's episode because we have a first-time guest on, and those are always fun, and I can't wait to get into it. So, Eric, why don't you introduce who we have with us today?
Very excited as well. Matt bringing on my longtime homie. Went to China with this guy. That's a bond you just cannot forget about. Big Sens fan. Introducing the podcast, the homie Riley Saya-Fennessy. So what's up with the people?
Hey guys, how's it going? First time here, so let's see how it goes. But yeah, China, can you believe that was 14 years ago?
That's insane.
14 years ago, that's
Wow.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But that was an awesome trip, eh?
Core memory trip for sure.
Awesome. But yeah, the massive Sens fan since I was a little kid. I've known nothing but the Sens, and yep.
Yeah, man. That's I think we're all in that boat as well. That's all we know. Ups and downs, peaks and valleys with this club, and this year had all of that for us. So we're gonna start off as we do typically in these end of year pods, go over the Sens and playoff talk. But yeah, let's first start off with our thoughts on the Sens season as a whole. Matt and I made some predictions in that we thought at the start of the year that Sens had a good shot at playoffs. Wasn't a guarantee at one point in the year that we would make it, but we eventually did. But Riley, overall, what were your thoughts following the Sens through this season?
It was an absolute roller coaster. Yeah, that's for sure. My thoughts before the season were, I actually do have my predictions from the start of the year here. But if I recall, I think I had them in your NHL predictions, me and my buddy. I said we were going to finish fourth in the division, and I said that we were going to be in a wild card. We finished fifth in wild card 2, so I wasn't too far off. But my thoughts before the season were that basically that the entire conference was like strong, and like there wasn't really a single bad team. So we were going to be in tough no matter how the season went. And at the start of the season, well, we got really bad goaltending. I thought the team was playing well basically like throughout the entire year, but Allmark had his struggles, and obviously it's probably been talked about at length. And then he went on his leave in January, and then he came back on January 24th to 27th against the Devils, and then after that he went on a tear, as did the entire team, and then we managed to squeak in there. I actually lost hope twice because the entire season I was like, this team is playing so good that they are too good to actually miss playoffs. But the two times I lost hope was once on January 10th, which was a game against Florida. It was the game after we got smoked in Colorado 8-2.
Oh yeah.
And then we came back home and we just had such a lackluster effort, and I was like, how is this the response to the last game? And then the other time was when Shabbat busted his arm against the Rangers. Mm-hmm. That was after Sanderson went down, and then all of our injuries. But overall, it was a fun season because it was peaks and valleys, up and downs, a lot to talk about, and at the end of the day, we made playoffs, which is always the goal. And we can talk about playoffs after.
Yeah, no, it's a good rundown of it. Matt, what about you? What are your thoughts overall in the season?
I want to echo what Riley said. It was really bad at the start, and then the second half was much better. I feel like if we had played a little better in the first half, we wouldn't have squeaked in an 8th and played Carolina, which we would have had a totally different round 1. But I loved seeing the second half, how shut down the Sens were defensively. Not a lot of goals allowed, not a lot of shots allowed. That was fun to watch. I had a blast watching the Sens this year for 3/4 of it at least. And yes, sometimes we had some demoralizing sequences, but ultimately the guys got into the playoffs, and I'm proud of them. And I had a really fun time watching the Sens. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, we're all on the same page here. Me too. Like the big takeaways of this season are what Riley said as well about the goaltending inconsistencies. I had high hopes for Miralainen as well, coming off the year that he had last year, to be a competent backup. Like not a 1A 1B tandem, but at least you hope for a step forward in his development. He arguably regressed or just showed that he's not ready for the spotlight in the NHL. And then all those injuries on the back end, which I think would have killed the majority of other teams with playoff aspirations hope to get in, but we persevered, and with Tyler Klevin and Jordan Spence in top pair assignments, rose to the occasion and got it done. So honestly, really proud of the group in general, given the adversity we had on and off the ice with everything going on with the Sens as per usual. So, and my thought also going into the year was I didn't like that we gave up our first round pick for this year, given where we had ended last year, and we ended up getting, I think, a middle of the pack prospect. You don't know how the year is going to play out coming up. And there was a time where we were looking like we could be a lottery team, and I was afraid of what would happen. Well, I guess we would have just lost. There's no pick. That would have been devastating.
I agree. That like, you know, with what happened with the draft lottery, we don't have that luck, but, you know, it's about having the chance. And
exactly.
Yeah. But, I agree.
So on that, I'm just happy that we did turn it around, make playoffs. Like you said, any fan base should be grateful that their team can make the playoffs. We did. Yeah, it didn't end how we would have hoped, obviously, but at least we got in there, and the players gave the fans something more to cheer about and be excited about. So, thoughts on the season overall?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, if I had to pick an MVP of the Sens for the season, it would probably be Timmy Stützle. I thought he had his best year, like overall. In terms of, you know, being a 200-foot player and really growing in that sense. And I feel as though had he had better wingers, he probably could have reached 90 to 95 points. But we can get to that when we talk about the offseason and like what we need.
Yeah, I like that call a lot. Stützle has grown a lot over the years, where we know the talent is all world. Me, sometimes I get annoyed by body language. He shows his frustration when things aren't going well.
Agreed.
But I feel like that has gone down a little bit, and this year was a stepping stone in that regard. Matt, do you have an MVP of the season for the Sens?
Well, it's hard not to pick Stützle just for the regular season. Like, he was on the point sheet, and I saw a lot of hustle and grit from him, like hitting other players. But then we saw the worst of Stützle's bad habits in the first round. I also like Sanderson. Like, when he wasn't hurt, he was elite defenseman. Love to see it. I'm a little bit happy for him for winning a gold medal. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm proud of Sanderson. I don't know. I did that. I know that's so sore spot. No, there's a lot of good stars this year. Like, Ullmark played well in the second half. Like, he was lights out. But yeah, I give it to Stützle too, for sure.
Yeah, me too. Stützle, Sanderson, those are my two. Like, there was a time where, like, the big three, and it still is, right? Tkachuk, Stützle, Sanderson.
Yeah.
For me, the most important and best player on our team is Sanderson, and I feel like he's only gone upward since we've drafted him. He has not hit his ceiling yet. I don't think Stützle has either, for sure. But those two are our big dogs. And if we can get goaltending out of Ullmark like we did in the second half, and especially in the playoffs, he has MVP potential as well. He proved that he has MVP potential.
Oh, yeah.
And has not been in the regular season yet, but he could be, in a big reason as to why we have success and make maybe a push for a top 3 spot instead of a wild card 2 spot.
Agreed.
So, yeah. I mean, that's all I had for regular season. We kind of covered the highs and lows of it all. Let's get into some playoff talk. Sens first round matchup going in, Carolina Hurricanes. I remember the discourse around this matchup was, I love this matchup for Ottawa. We can take them. We can surprise Carolina here. What were your guys' thoughts when we made the playoffs and it was decided that Carolina was going to be our opponent? Did you feel that way? What were your thoughts going into the series?
So when we made playoffs, just by the way we were playing, I was like, all right, we can take any team. And then I was there. I'm like, the only team I didn't want to play was like Montreal, because like I don't like don't like them at all.
Yeah.
And my fiance's families are fans of Montreal, so like I just didn't want to deal with that.
Fair.
So I was like, bring on Tampa, bring on Buffalo, bring on Carolina. And for the Carolina part, we played them, I think, 4 or 5 games before the season ended.
Okay.
And we won 6-3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of gave me at least some sort of false hope that we could maybe play them. But then as the playoffs started and the way it was going, I thought to myself, I'm like, did they use that last game of the season to see how we played? And they're like, we're going to come up with a game plan. And whatever they did, they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have an answer the entire series. And like it sucked, but as they're showing right now, like they're a machine, and it's gonna be tough to stop them.
Matt, thoughts on the series in general? Did you have similar thoughts going in, and then the rollout of it all as it unfolded for us?
So before the series started, guys, I was very honest. I was a little scared because Carolina's like a round one slayer. They've been consistently, first of all, finishing first in that division and then winning the first round. They're a scary looking team on paper, and they have a great coach, and they even got better this year. It seemed like it was unbelievable. And when we won 6-3 against them, I was like, oh, that is like false. We can't just we have to ignore that because the playoffs are a different animal. And then, but you know what? At the end of the day, guys, I'm super proud of how the Sens fought Carolina. These were 1-goal games. These were games like not a big goal difference. We fought tooth and nail. Yeah, Stankoven was a stud on their power play and like scored 4 goals, and he scored every game. And Ottawa just couldn't score on their power play, and that might be the difference. The difference in this series is maybe 3-4 goals, and maybe we're winning the series, which is unreal. It's unbelievable. Like, we'd be right there. That OT game too was a killer,
Those posts.
backbreaker. But it was a fun series to watch. Like, my heart was racing the whole time I was watching the game, guys, and I was not even sitting down. I was standing up the whole time, and it was very exciting to watch. And at the end of the day, when they got swept, I was still proud of my Sens, and it was a hard-fought series. Eric, what were your thoughts on those series?
Yeah, I feel like if you asked me day after we got swept, I'm a little more heated and like maybe more flying off the handles here. But like Riley said too, and you said, Matt, like we're seeing what Carolina is. This is a powerhouse team who has experience in the playoffs. And even going into it, I was apprehensive of the fact that it'd be an easy series, of course, and just knowing like these guys know what it takes to win. This is only our second time making the playoffs with this core, and I do think we deserved a better fate in the series. Do I think we deserved to have won it? No, but game 2, I feel like that was one we should have had.
That was ours.
That was, especially when we got the goal disallowed and the game kept going. Like, that was insane. We had turned off, like, we were watching in bed, and when they scored, closed the laptop immediately, and then Andy went on Twitter. She's like, the game's still going. Like, what went back on? And it was the penalty shot was happening live as we reopened the laptop. And then I was like, all right, we're winning this game. Like, we've gotten so many chances, so many posts. Timmy could have had 5 goals that game. Like, that series is gonna keep this. It's probably still keeping him up at night right now. But yeah, that was a tough one. And then I'm kind of forgetting exactly how every other game went down, but I think the problem was that they limited our chances. They kept us to the outside. We didn't have that many great scoring chances. And I don't think Anderson was all-world the way his stats might reflect he was. He didn't make that many big saves. I feel like we were almost our own worst enemies in not capitalizing on what should have been goals at times. But, yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, also when your power play goes 1 for 20, you probably won't win too many series. But on the other side of the coin, I think Carolina's power play was. I think they got 2 power play goals during the series, if I recall. So like our PK was like really good too.
Yes.
But Yeah, they were there, and during the season, we scored the most goals within a 5 feet radius from the net, and like it wasn't really close.
Oh.
And Carolina did not give us the inside at all, and that was that. And
interesting.
And basically, like when we were playing at our best, it was when we were chipping the puck in, and we basically go after the puck, and then we would cycle it, create chances, basically like that. Carolina's D, they just shut that down completely. Then we tried to carry it in, and they're like, nope, you can't do that either.
Yeah.
So we had no answer, and hopefully the team learns and comes back better next year.
Speaking of, on that point as well, another reason why even our dump and chase game and cycling got broken up quickly, I find, was because Anderson was playing the puck 95% of the times he could. And on the flip side, while Ullmark was all world, I don't think he came out of his net more than 5 times the whole series. So I feel like maybe that's something to look at, in that kind of stifles a forecheck and starts a breakout the other way too. I feel like we had a hard time sustaining zone pressure as well.
Agreed.
Like we rarely had possession in their zone. Any little look we had, they would break up, or like I said, keep it to the outside and not let us get to the inside, which, like you said, was where we do our damage. So they game planned very well against us.
But we're our own worst enemy. Like on the 5-on-3s, like that was inexcusable.
Oh,
the writing was on the wall. Not scoring on the 5-on-3s is unforgivable, and that's the writing on the wall. Like why we didn't win. Eric, you were at that game 3, right? That was our worst played game, I believe.
Went to both games. We can talk about that after as well. But the special teams, right? That's a story you see in any playoff series. If you can't capitalize on the fewer chances you do get on the power plays in the playoffs, because they're not as liberal with handing them out, especially the later the series goes on, you have to be good on special teams, and we were abysmal on them. So you can complain about this and that, and like, oh, we should have won game 2 or whatever, but yeah, we should have maybe scored a goal on one of our 4 or 5-on-3s we got. We had at least 3.
Yeah.
And one was at like a minute and 37 seconds long, where I don't think we could complete a pass on that 5-on-3. The Boo Birds were flying in the CTC.
Yeah, that was like game 3, right?
Yeah.
And then Brady, there was Shabbat on the other side, and he gave him a pass, and it was like 2 foot to his left, and just got out of the zone. And I was there, and I'm just like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Because yes, their PK was incredible, but when you have a 5-on-3, like you have so much more room, and even then we had a hard time just getting to the zone and making a pass anyways, it was and if you look at like this series as a whole, like Matt said earlier, they were all very close games. Like you score on 1 or 2 of those 5-on-3s, the game's different.
So when we're gonna look at the future of the Sens, we're gonna, like, offensively the Sens can improve, and I think that's where the improvement obviously needs to be at, the area we need to improve, and talk about players that shouldn't be, like, that could be different players for next year maybe, and maybe. Yeah, anyways, I'll save my thoughts for the future of the Sens. But offensively, that was our struggle, basically, for round 1. And but, hey, we're playing a team right now we played a team that's still undefeated as of today.
Yeah.
They're 3-0 against the Flyers. And I think people are realizing, like, Carolina's no joke, and Ottawa was not a pushover. Like, Ottawa fought hard. Ottawa's fought harder than Philly's fighting right now.
I think so, too.
I agree.
Well, we'll see how that ends up. But,
Sweep inbound. I hope they get swept. And I'm normally not really someone who will cheer for the team who eliminated you just to be like, oh, like, at least we lost to the eventual cup winner. Typically that's not my thing. This time I kind of hope Carolina's not my number 1 team I want to see win the cup at this point, but I 100% wanted them to destroy Philly. Like, that was my hope anyways in this series, is that kind of makes it a little better for us, where, okay, we went up against a juggernaut that we kind of underestimated while still respecting, but not realizing how good these guys are. Like you mentioned, Stankoven, Matt, like that team beat us, and their top line were essentially a non-factor, right? Like that's another difference in that Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis got neutralized by, I guess, Stützle and Brady. That line didn't really do much for us either. But our secondary scoring didn't necessarily rise to the occasion, which I guess you could say Drake and Cousins are that, and they are the only ones who got our goals. But besides that, we got nothing else, and that's one of the differences.
Yeah, for sure. And for Stankoven, he has done this his entire career.
Oh yeah.
Like, whenever there's a big game, there's a playoff game, he always rises to the occasion. He's done it in juniors. He's done it in the NHL. Like, he just shows up when the game is big.
He's a dog.
Oh, he is a dog.
And it's like that kind of guy too. Like, I don't know what his offensive ceiling in the regular season is going to be like, because he got a lot of points in junior. He was like a 100+ point player, but he's a smaller guy in the NHL. But it's his work ethic and willingness to go anywhere and do anything that is why he has had the success he's had in the league. But if that can be like you get 40, 50 points out of him in the regular season, but then he's scoring like 8 goals in the playoffs for a cup-winning team, you take that kind of guy over a 80, 90-point guy, or even a Kucherov, who was a complete non-factor in the Tampa-Montreal series, which we'll get into later, of course. But like, Stankoven is a playoff-type player that every team is seeing, like, wow, this guy is legit. And he, like you said, has done this every year. The year he was in Dallas, and then last year and this year with Carolina.
Yeah, I have his stats right in front of me. So this is in junior when he played for the Blazers in the WHL. In 17 playoff games one year, he had 17 goals.
Yeah.
And he had another 14 assists for 31 points in 17 playoff games. And then the year after, he did more or less the same thing with 30 points in 14 playoff games. So that's 2 points a game in the playoffs. So, and then this year he's at 7 points in 7 games when he had 44 points in 81 games. So he's a half-point player right now during the season, and he just
saves it for when it matters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Smart play smarter, not harder. But they definitely have to be complimentary of Carolina.
For sure. See
what they do going forward. I won't be. Yeah, by the time this drops, the series could easily be over, right? Because it's Game 4 tonight for them. But I mean, anything else you guys want to add on the Sens current, or get into some future stuff? Matt, you mentioned players who may or may not be here anymore, and kickstart us on. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I'll kickstart us off on, like I said, overall, everyone had a good season in terms of, like, we made the playoffs. Allmark played well in the end. The couple of new defensemen we got did the job, but I feel like we're missing a top 6 forward, and I feel like a big piece of the puzzle needs to be moved. I feel like the Sens need to do a big trade or a big free agent pickup, because we need a goal scorer, another top 6 player. And there's the whole Brady Tkachuk situation. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Like, is Brady going to want to play his career in Ottawa, like all of it? Should we move him before his contract's up? I know he's got 2 more years. Like, there's that whole situation. Of course, Staios and Brady are going to say they're going to stay here, but we don't know what their true thoughts are. But I feel like Ottawa needs to pick up some ammo for the forward, like more ammo on offense. Mm-hmm. Those are my thoughts, basically.
Yeah, I agree for sure that the priority should be a top 6, and like I would even say a top line the winger that can play with Stützle, who can keep up with his speed, because everyone loves Claude Giroux, but the guy's 38. He does not have the legs to keep up with Timmy anymore. And again, he still put up like 45 or 50 points this year. He was great, but he's not a top line player anymore. So I would say that, and then get a backup goalie that can give you 25 to 30 solid games. And then if you want to add a bigger D, then sure, but I would say that the priority is for sure a top line winger, and then a backup goalie that can give you 25 games.
Giroux's just got to go Jackie Moon at this point, player-coach situation. Like, there's no room for him anymore on the top six. I agree. Top six winger for sure. Top line ideally. My whole thing is just how available are these guys? But you make Brady available, then you can get a top line guy for sure. And I also agree. We need another, I'd say, third pair D, maybe even top 4D who can play on, because I feel like our depth, while guys stepped up, our depth kind of got exposed, especially in the playoffs. Where, like, no offense to guys like Lassie Thompson, Cam Crotty, they struggled mightily in the playoffs. Martin Paulo also kind of showed he's probably better served as a 7 than even a 6, which is not a big difference, but still, I'd want another solid, I think, right-hand D, because on the left side, Sanderson, Chabot, Clevin, who, big fan of him, how he stepped in. He's a great third pair D, and I like him and Spence together a lot. But now we're moving off of Jensen. You got Zub when he's healthy. He's up there. Who's our other guy who can play with Chabot, right? I feel like that's a need there. Is a top 4 right-hand D.
Yeah, and that, like that's been a thing for Chabot's basically whole time in Ottawa since 2017, 2018. Like, it's always like, oh, who's gonna play with them? We had Dylan, we had him, and he was playing great with them, but we were garbage that year, and we shipped him off at the deadline. Yeah. And I don't exactly remember what we got for DeMello, but
4th round pick, probably.
I'm pretty sure it was something like that. And then last year, we got Jensen, and then up until he got hurt, he was great with Chabot. Yeah. But then he got hurt. He's a little older too, and then now it's again like, oh, who's gonna play with Chabot?
It's the end of the Jensen era now. I think honestly, you could even do Zub with Chabot, and then like Yak with Sanderson. I don't know. My thing, Tkachuk, I believe in him, but I do think he's a project, and I think needs to work on conditioning. His boots got exposed out there every game he was on. Like, that guy, if he's on PP1. You need Stutz like super glued to him in case he gets burnt, because that guy ain't catching up to anybody. Alex Tuck busting down the wing shorthanded, bar down, like, see you later, pal. So he needs to get into shape, I'll say, if he is to get a legit shot at an NHL spot. But I do think down the road he's destined to be an NHLer, maybe a star even, who knows.
For sure. I've seen quite a few people compare him to Bouchard from like Edmonton, which is honestly, like, they're not exactly the same, because Bouchard's a much better skater than like Tkachuk is. Yeah. At this point, anyway. But like, it's the heavy shot. It's the things that he does in the offensive zone that, like, none of our D really can do. Like, he has, you know, his like first assist against Detroit. Yeah. He just put the puck backhand right between his legs, and it's like,
ballsy.
Wow, like, that's, you know, there's, as good as like Sanderson is, he's not doing that.
No, absolutely,
and that's fine. But yeah, I think for Tkachuk, this is just, I'm basing this on what I've heard Steo say and some other people, what they've said is just like they want him to become a better skater and a little better in the defensive zone. He's not going to be Jake Sanderson ever in the defensive zone, but he can get a little better, a little less mistakes that like lead to goals against. So in saying that, like, I think he needs a big summer if he makes a team out of camp. Yeah. And yeah, so that's going to be obviously we're going to find out in September if he has a good summer or not. But yeah, he's for sure going to be a factor, because, like, again, like, no one on our D does what he can. He probably already has the best shot on the team.
I'd say so.
It's an absolute rocket. So yeah, and while our power play was top 10, we didn't have a lot of one-timer goals. They were all pretty much like yeah. So
no, adding him to it gives us that right-hand D look that a lot of teams, like Tampa, for example, with Radish, even when Hedman is playing, they wanted Radish in because that's a look. The right-hand one-timer from Kucherov, like, easiest assist of all time. but you still have to feather it nicely and you have to get the shot off. So that's a nice asset that I like will now be able to play with. But if he doesn't make the team next year, I'm not too concerned. I think he had the green jacket, was leading the league in minus this year in the AHL. So yeah, like you said, refine it in the defensive zone down there in the jungle. No rush. There's going to be a spot for you down the road. Matt, what about you? What are your thoughts on Yak? And I mean, you mentioned top six, but Yak, and then let's get into the Brady stuff. I want to hear what you're looking at in terms of what you'd like to see out of him in the future.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. For Tkachuk, for sure, a midterm project. You know, it won't be immediate, but there's so much talent there, and maybe that's why his conditioning and his other stuff is lacking, is because everything was just based on pure talent, and now he's got to the big show. Now he has to work hard for it. You've seen that with other players. But I like what I see. Like, I like the promise. We have the promise of a very talented offensive defenseman. And he only has to get average on defense, kind of like Erik Karlsson back in the day. Like, just get good enough on defense where you're not looking like a clown out there. But before I get to Tkachuk, I just want to say that the Sens gained a lot of experience losing to Carolina. And I saw a lot of players making, like, rush plays and panicking a lot when they're getting pressured by the Carolina players, but that's going to come with experience. Like, next year we'll be even more ready to deal with the playoff stress. Thinking of guys like Dylan Cousins, who is like struggling to make nice passes, and Jordan Spence sometimes getting pressured and giving the puck away. Like, it's good that this beatdown is going to teach us a lot for the next time. And I think next year we're making the playoffs and we're going to be ready for whichever opponent we get. Brady Tkachuk, I truly think he wants to play on an American team, probably with his brother even. Who wouldn't want to play with their brother in the NHL? I think, and there's nothing wrong with his American patriotism. It's just, if he wants to leave, we need to make a good deal, and then we could get a lot. We could get a good return for Brady. We can get like a first draft pick and a couple players. You know, thinking of teams like maybe Anaheim, even Florida. Maybe trade him to the West actually, but. There's a lot of teams. Every team in the league could use him, and I like the return. I'd like to see is like a first line center. That'd be awesome. Then have Stützle, this guy, like one line with Stützle and another line with this great player that we get for Brady. I don't think his heart, knowing like Brady and like his podcast and his Americanism, I don't think he's gonna want to keep playing on an American team. On a Canadian team. I think he's going to want to play on an American team. That's just my thoughts on Brady. I like watching the guy. I cheer for him, but I think his head is, he wants to go to the U.S., back to the U.S. So, yeah.
I'll just add on that. So, and Riley, I think were you at Game 4 as well?
I was at Game 3 and 4.
Okay. So, at the end of Game 4, we stayed till the end, give the boys the salute, cheer, applause. Brady was the last guy off the ice, and he had that head down, defeated puppy look of like, this is it. This is my last time. I thought anyways, that was my interpretation of it.
Really?
Of like this is how it ends, like a sweep in Ottawa, the team I've been the captain for years. He's built a life here, a family, and is undeniably one of our most beloved players in franchise history. Like, was on that path to maybe eclipse Alfie somehow. Maybe in another lifetime. Maybe. I said maybe. It's not even close to that. But I don't know. That's just the vibe I got. I also think you got to look at that option of getting the most you can for him. And I have thoughts as to where he could go. But do you feel the same way, or what did you think of that?
I go back and forth on this so much, it's unbelievable. He had a tough year, right? Like, at our second game of the season, at the home opener against Nashville, gets hit from behind from Roman Josi, and breaks his wrist his thumb. His thumb. And then he came back, but then he couldn't be the Brady of old, where he's hitting everyone he's fighting, because he had his cast on, and you can't fight with a cast on. And then his podcast he started this year. We obviously don't need to get too political here, but obviously, there was some stuff said, and then there was the whole the States winning the gold and everything that happened after and stuff like that. So like there are a lot of people in this city that were not very happy with him for that, and I get it. That being said, this is just me. Maybe it's me being hopeful. I don't know, but I think he's gonna give it one more year, see what happens next year, and then, you know, if things don't go super well for us next year, then we may trade him. But I personally think he's going to start the season with us, and then we'll go from there, because he does have 2 years left on his contract. So, but maybe that's just me being a little too hopeful. I don't know.
I don't think it's too hopeful, because I do think he loves. I do think he loves the city and the team. Like, he's been here his whole career with this group for the most part. Like, I'm not saying I'm convinced he's gone. We also have to make a trade that makes sense. Like, you don't want to just trade him to trade him here. No. I hope he stays because you become a worse team the day you trade Brady Tkachuk away. Like, look what happened at Calgary, how that set them back. They haven't recovered since moving off of Tkachuk. But if you get the sense that he does not want to be here, you have to explore your options. And if it is to come down to that, teams I'm looking at and having the assets to give stuff away where he could maybe want to be there is, like, obviously people talk St. Louis all the time because they're guys like Kyrou, Robert Thomas are on the block, and they do have pieces. I could see like a Utah that has a lot of prospects to give up and some decent roster players they'd be willing to move off of for Brady. And now a new team that I feel like just entered the chat a few days ago with them moving up in the lottery is San Jose. I could see that. I think, first of all, San Jose is going to be aggressive in the offseason in that they have a ton of cap space. They're on the rise. Celebrini is going to attract a lot of players. They just won the second overall pick. They don't need that. They didn't need that pick. They already kind of have their core in place with all the young guys they drafted. Now that's a massive add if they do pick. Stenberg will probably be number 2. But they could give that pick up for Brady and maybe they'd have to sweeten the pot, I think. But that's a new player I feel like has entered the chat. And the other one is Dallas, that people like to link Robertson to us with Brady. But what are your thoughts on any of those or that in general?
It's tough to say because he does have a no-move clause, right?
Right.
And I don't know if it's a full move clause or it's a 10-team one. I'm not exactly sure.
It's full for Brady. It's full control.
So the thing is, he can go up to Staios and say like, "Hey, I only want to play in X market." You know, let's say, "Oh, I want to go to Florida," and then if he does that, that handcuffs us, and we're not getting anything close to the value of Tkachuk. For San Jose, they still need that number 1 right-handed D. So there is a chance that they take Chase Reed at number 2 there. Obviously, we'll have to wait because they could also make a trade for someone that's like ready right now, and because like San Jose is close. They that's going to be a dangerous team for the next 10 years. But yeah, so. I would love like a Brady for Jason Robertson swap. I don't think Robertson is leaving Dallas because Tyler Seguin's coming off the books there, and I think his cap hit was $7 million or.
I think it's higher. I think it's like 9. In that honestly.
Range. Yeah. So that's a lot of money that's coming off the books, and right now the rumor is that Robertson wants about 12 to like 12 and a half. Million. So yeah, like basically all of the other 31 teams in the league would want Brady Tkachuk like for sure. to play for them. So he's gonna have a lot of suitors if he does get traded, and if he chooses to go wherever he gets traded to, because again he has the full veto power. So yeah, which is a little scary because if we recall with I know they're not even on like the same planet of the same player there, but Tarasenko from a couple years ago. We gave him a 1-year contract with a full no move clause for whatever reason. And then come the deadline, he's like, I only want to go play in Florida. And then we got like a 6th round pick for him when you could have got a little more for him. So
they won the cup with him too.
He did.
Yeah. So I don't know. Matt, do you have
like what you said, Eric?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I like what you said, Eric. Your team automatically gets worse if Brady leaves because he has something that's not on the score sheet. He has fierce, competitive, physical, he has so much heart, and he goes and hits everyone up there. He can fight. He does everything, and not a lot of star players do that. And Brady can do something that very few hockey players in the NHL can do, which is score and be tough and change a game's whole dynamic with annoying the other team's bench and fighting the biggest guy there and scoring and doing assists. So he's a hell of a player, and it'd be sad, but I think this thing should. If we move on from him, or when we move on from him, we should look ahead and then think about our future with Stützle at the reins. Although I think Sanderson should be the captain, not Stützle. Maybe even Chabot, actually. I don't know. But quick thoughts on future captain. What do you think?
I want Sanderson's my guy. I think Chabot, I think is probably a better leader. He's older as well, and he probably has a louder voice in the room. I just feel like Sanderson has that quiet stoicism and the lead by example. He's just so good too. I feel like you can't make Chabot captain. I don't think that's a bad decision. I would personally prefer seeing Sanderson captain.
So now, with the benefit of hindsight, if a few years ago when Brady got named captain, now I'm like, it should have been Thomas Chabot. And when you hear guys from the team to what they have to say about him, he's the one that organizes all the team dinners out. He's a really big glue guy, and he's also he's your second pair defenseman who can arguably be a first pair on a lot of teams. But I don't know, if I had to guess now, I think they would. I think they would probably go Timmy. But I don't think that there's a bad choice between Timmy, Chabot, or Sanderson. So,
and it'll be That's one fair. Of those three. Matt, what you said Sanderson earlier there?
Sanderson would be my pick. Yeah.
So that's we'll wait and see situation. I think it's going to be a busy off season too. See what happens, kind of thing. I never thought it'd come to this that we would be talking so openly, and a lot of people want to see Brady moved. It's sad, honestly, in a way, where we've seen this before with so many of our stars who have come and gone through Ottawa. We're almost Buffalo-esque, where we've had so many guys, great players, and just haven't been able to win with them and see them have success elsewhere. But that's how it goes out here, right? That's NHL and pro sports. And see what happens. I believe in the core, though. I think we can make the playoffs, especially if Brady stays. If Brady's there next year, I think we're a playoff team. If we do trade him, it depends on what we get back to see if we can make.
Yeah, it would depend if we get futures or something for the team now.
Yeah, agreed. So we've been on the Sens a while. Let's get into some just quickly playoff round one recaps. We don't need to get into every series there, but Matt, what have your thoughts overall been on round one in general and bleeding into two? What have you been following and enjoying to watch?
Well, I really enjoyed watching round one. I thought there was a lot of dominance in some series and a lot of hard-fought battles in other ones. The ones I've been focusing and watching all the games was the Montreal, Tampa Bay, and the Philly, Pittsburgh. Those are the series I watched pretty much every game, other than the Ottawa. So I'll start with that in the East. Pittsburgh, my girlfriend's a huge Pittsburgh fan. She religiously watches all their playoff games and most of the regular season. That was an interesting series because Philly dominated and then Pittsburgh showed life, but then Pittsburgh is kind of on the decline. So the expected result happened, and that was a fun series to watch, honestly. The game where the 6 players are in the box on each side, that was fun to watch. A lot of grit and dirtiness. Tampa Bay and Montreal, that was to me, that was a really close series where Tampa Bay tried to like physically overpower Montreal. Montreal held the fort. Montreal won a lot of games in overtime. There's a lot of overtime in that game, in that best of seven. That was very exciting to watch. Sometimes the winning team didn't really deserve to win that game, but they ended up winning, as was the case in Game 7 with Montreal winning. But then again, Montreal lost Game 6, and I thought they could have won that. There was a game where I thought they shouldn't have won, but they won. Anyways, so for me, the East, I focused on those matchups. Buffalo, Boston, didn't watch a single game. But yeah, that's me for the East. What about you guys?
What about you, Riley?
So I like to watch as much hockey as I can. But I do have to say that watching Montreal play, it makes me so angry because like I don't like them at all. And yeah, that Game 7, I was just staring at my TV, and when they scored the second goal from behind the net, I was like, well, they're going through, that's for sure. And they had 9 or 10 shots on net.
9 shots.
And they won Game 7. Yeah. That's unbelievable. I was just like,
they went the full second period without a shot. I think they said first time in like probably ever that a team who actually wins a Game 7 doesn't record a shot in a period. Like, that's pathetic.
Yeah, no, I was there. I'm like, man, Tampa's dominating. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, this Montreal team, it just pulls it out all the time. So I'm like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna get some sort of greasy goal.
Yeah. And
they're gonna win the series, and that's exactly what happened.
It's that classic, like, you get chance after chance, but you don't score, you dominate. Other team comes back with a look and buries. Like, that's hockey for you. That happens time and time again.
Yeah, we saw that a lot with the Sens this year.
Yeah.
So, not to bring back them, but we saw a lot of that. But yeah, other than that, Philly and Pittsburgh is always a great series to watch. It's two teams that hate each other. And when Philly was up 3-0, I was a little surprised. I'm like, I thought Pittsburgh would have, fought a little harder, but then they ended up winning Game 4 and 5, and then Philly won in overtime Game 6 there, only to proceed to currently be destroyed by Carolina. But they won a playoff series, so I would love to win a playoff series. And then Buffalo Boston, I watched a couple of games because I wanted to see that atmosphere in Buffalo, and it was wild over there. It was insane, and I'm just like, see, I want that sense, just to be like, we're just the place is going nuts, and just like that. And then what was the other matchup in the East? I'm drawing a blank.
Ottawa, Carolina.
Yeah, I think.
Right. True. Us. Yeah. My bad. And then out west, I was watching a lot of the Dallas and Minnesota series because those are two of the top 5 teams in the entire league, and they were going at it in round 1.
I hate that.
That's just the format that we live in, which is stupid, but it is what it is. And in my head, I thought Dallas was going to win that series. But in my heart, I really wanted Minnesota to win a series because they haven't won one in so long, and they finally pulled it out. So I was really happy for them. I didn't watch a single second of the Colorado LA series because that was the most obvious sweep of all time.
Yeah. That's DJ Smith hockey for you.
Yeah, I can't believe he's coach there. It's so funny. And then I watched a bit of the Edmonton and Ducks series, and like I wanted the Oilers to win because I love Connor McDavid, and to me he's the best player till they ever play the game. But so I wanted to win a cup, but this wasn't the year for the Oilers. They had terrible goaltending. They tried to make a swap, ended up with worse goaltending. And their defense wasn't as good as it's been in the past couple of years when they made the finals. And then McDavid was playing on a broken foot. Yeah. And McDavid is all speed. and well, not all speed, but it's a big part of his game. And when he doesn't have his speed, he's just a little less effective. But overall, round 1 to me is probably the best round of playoffs in sports. It's like I love it. But yeah, those are my overall general thoughts on round 1.
That's a lot of hockey consumed. I'm typically on the wave of will watch as much as possible. This year I find for some reason I didn't have it in me, and I do think the fact that we just didn't get a win, it weighed on me. And another thing I normally do, which I have done over the last 9 years of the Leafs making the playoffs, me actively rooting against them. That takes a lot out of you, though, you know? And I didn't have that. Even with the Habs, like, I typically will translate that hate towards them when they're in. I didn't even care as much this year of watching them against Tampa. I did watch a lot of the games, but I wasn't committed to, I have to stay up to watch this whole game and cheer for Tampa just because I want Montreal to lose. I just wasn't in that headspace. That being said, that was the most entertaining series to watch for me. And that's kind of translating over to Buffalo, Montreal so far. Has been the best best series of the second round to watch. Yeah. And like, you gotta give Montreal credit in that it's better for the game that they did beat Tampa and moved on, because I feel like so many people would have lost interest and not even cared about who wins going forward. Like, you're gonna lose a lot of the general Canadian hockey fan if there isn't a Canadian team in the playoffs. I am not of the mindset of gotta cheer for a Canadian team, want to see that Canadian team win the cup.
I hate that.
Especially if it's Toronto, Montreal, absolutely not. Any other Canadian team, I have to truly like their roster to cheer for them to win over an American team. Like, I'm not a Vancouver guy. For some reason, I just don't care about that franchise. If they were in the finals playing a team like Vegas, who I also dislike, then let's go Vancouver. Like, that's what it would have to take. But let's say it's Vancouver against Utah. I like Utah's team. I'm a Mammoth stan in that series. So that's just to give the listeners and viewers a breakdown of how I think when it comes to these matchups. All that to say, Montreal moving on, while it pains me and I hope they lose against Buffalo, it's good for the sport. So all that to say, I haven't watched that many series, honestly, especially the West Coast ones. I don't stay up to watch those games. Would have wanted to see Edmonton win, but I like Anaheim, and I kind of hope that they beat Vegas now. So that's kind of what it's been like for me this year.
Yeah, it's another team that's going to be dangerous for the next like 10 or so years. It's going to be the Ducks. That's a wagon over there.
Co-host is the number one Cutter Gauthier fan out there. So and I'm a
Pretty
big
much.
Leo Carlson guy, so we know all about the Anaheim core. Now they're looking nasty. Go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, Riley, I want to go back to the Dallas mini. Like, Dallas could have beaten Anaheim, Utah, Vegas, or Edmonton, like, in their first round if they had played them. So it's sad for Dallas because, man, they have a great team. So, mini Dallas, that was the one I focused on in the West, too. And it's been I don't want Vegas to win. I'm cheering for Anaheim, Colorado, Buffalo, and Carolina for round 2.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just to bring it back to the Tampa versus Montreal series, I was rocking. I don't know if you remember. This was 14 years ago again. But remember, I got jerseys in China in that like underground like knockoff market in Shanghai. I was rocking the fake Tampa Steven Stamkos jersey, and I was just there watching the game, and well, you know, didn't go in our favor, but yeah.
That's sick. I do like Tampa's team though. Like, when they won their cups, I was kind of cheering for them. When they beat Montreal, actually in 2021, I was a massive Tampa guy to see them win. I was hoping that luck would come across again, but they just didn't have the sauce. I found like Montreal just felt like the team of destiny in that sense for that series. Like, I was hoping Tampa would win, but there was something in me saying like Montreal's they're gonna get it done.
Yeah, I agree there because, like, again, I was wearing a Tampa jersey, so I obviously wanted the Lightning to win. But in the back of my head, I just knew that Montreal was gonna pull it out of you know. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. And obviously, like, them not having Victor Hedman, that didn't help because the guy's an absolute unit. But yeah, so too bad. And so obviously now I'm cheering for Buffalo. I don't have a jersey, but I do know people who do. So maybe I'll try and borrow one.
Quick rip to Shanghai.
Yeah, maybe. Eh? And then I thought before the series that Carolina was going to mop the floor with Philly. That's what's happening. Again, for Minnesota, I want them to win that series, but I really don't think it's going to happen. Right now, they're down 2-0, and what a crazy game one, though. 9-6 in a playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
That
insane.
is insane. And then I do have Vegas beating Anaheim, even though I don't really want to, but I think they have more experience, and yeah, so.
It's a good call.
Fair.
I hope Anaheim somehow pulls off. I haven't watched those games. People said that Anaheim did play better in games 1 and 2. Obviously, the last night they lost 6-3 or something.
They got smoked last night, 6-2, yeah.
But Colorado's winning. Like 2-0 now. They just look dialed. I think they got some. I think they're making the finals. Like they're making the Stanley Cup finals. On paper, the easy picks are Carolina versus Colorado, but there's a strong chance that's exactly what happens. Carolina looks borderline unbeatable, and so does Colorado. Colorado, I don't really believe in Wedgwood for some reason, but he's finding a way to play good enough to get his team wins.
Yeah, it's really weird with Wedgwood because, like, you know, he was basically a career backup, and then in December he was like, oh, is he going to be on the Canada team for
Olympics?
Yeah, for the Olympics, and it's like, but that also kind of goes to show you the state of goaltending in Canada a bit, but yeah, no, so yeah, I like right now. My pick is also Colorado against Carolina. Although it would be really cool to see Buffalo in the finals. Don't think it'll happen. But I don't know if you guys remember this series from 2006. It was the Eastern Conference Final, and it actually was Buffalo against Carolina. And Carolina won that series in 7 games, and it was a crazy series. And maybe we get a rematch of that 20 years later, but who knows?
Could be, yeah. I mean, we're gonna get half of that for sure. Like Carolina's making it, but Buff, I hope so. They didn't look great last night, but they worked Montreal for the most part in Game 1. So that series is going 7-2. Like that's just. Montreal has been giving us entertaining hockey in the playoffs, and so is Buffalo from what I saw of Buffalo-Boston. So I think this another one goes the distance that, again, Carolina might just be sitting there 8-0, well-rested. My thing is, like, is Anderson going to keep this magic up? I don't know, but I like their team. Like, they're the most complete team in the East, in my opinion. Because I don't know, like, I'm not a dopish believer either. I don't know, maybe Montreal fans in the chat, you can convince me otherwise, but I could easily see this guy, and this is a call I'm going to throw out there, next year, he's on an Andrew Hammond-esque run, and next year he's going to be packing fries at McDonald's like Hammond is now. You know, like, I don't think this guy's the real deal, but we'll see. See next year.
But then they have Jacob Fowler just there, so it's like, oh, here.
I know it's Montreal's set for the future with they got another guy, Michael Hage, coming up, who is a top prospect. I want to say they have a few other guys coming too, so it's too bad. Like a few years ago, you talked between Montreal fans and Sens fans, like which core would you prefer? And we were convincing ourselves that Josh Norris is better than Nick Suzuki. At the time, we might have been onto something. Now, not so much.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing about these debates, too. Like, it's Hudson versus Sanderson is a classic now, which I'm still a Sanderson believer. I think overall is the better player, but I don't think he'll ever touch what Hudson is doing offensively, though. Like, 78 points in your second year. You just got to tip your cap to the guy at some point there. He is nasty. I don't like him, but if he was on any other team, I'd probably be a fan. So
I agree.
Yeah. It's just the nature of the beast. Yeah. Matt, any predictions for the rest of the way or thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I want to see Carolina, Colorado Stanley Cup Finals. What I would even love to see is a 12-0 team. Two teams play each other. It would mean we get a boring round of 4, but imagine two dominant teams clashing all the way to Game 7. I watched a bit of the Colorado-Minnesota games, and Colorado's beautiful to watch. They're all firing on all cylinders, and just like Carolina is, it's domination. Really, it's beautiful to see. I think Buffalo's going to beat Montreal, and Buffalo's exciting to watch. But man, haven't been there in 19 years. They lack the experience. But you see Carolina, you see Carolina and Colorado, and they know what it's like. They know how to take care of business right now. And how can they not meet in the finals like this? I hope Colorado wins the cup over them too. By the way, so that's my path to the cup. Colorado winning everything.
So I'd posted a poll on Insta. That's what most people submitted. Carolina coming out of the East, Colorado the West. A lot of people were saying for the East. The other one was Montreal is who people voted for. I think those are just Habs fans voting that, obviously. But there's a chance. You never know. You never know. You don't want to disrespect Montreal at this point. But no one voted Philly, and then I think no one voted Buff either. It was all Carolina and Montreal, and then in the West it was all Colorado and Mini, actually. So people had the winner of that series going to the finals, which I could see happening because it's going to be Colorado. But and then winning the cup, it was 2 Carolinas and a Colorado. So see what happens. Redemption for McKinnon at the Olympics.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that. But
what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Someone said that. That's why I just gotta give them their shout out there. But
that never happened. I don't know what you're referring to.
Better days ahead.
Yeah.
The sun will shine on us again one day. But Buffalo, though, I'd want to give them more props, though, on making the playoffs. I'm pumped to see them. That's the team I'd like to see out of the East, honestly, because I do like the makeup of their team. Josh Doan, Zach Benson, Alex Tuck. Those are playoff-type guys who just grind it out, get under your skin, and are high-end skilled guys, too, who I just like the way they play. I kind of wish Tage Thompson would get it going a little bit here instead of breaking his own ankles, coughing up at the blue line, and giving a costly 2-on-1 goal by Alexander Carrier the other way. I mean, come on, buddy. This is your wake-up call here. Let's pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. I couldn't watch the game last night because I was at the baseball game in town there. But I saw that replay and I'm like, oof, that's a tough look.
Yeah.
But hopefully he rebounds and he puts up a hat trick tomorrow or
tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
So and my last point on just just the playoffs as a whole is how much more open that the hockey is in any other series that doesn't have Carolina in it. Like when when I was watching Philly versus Pittsburgh, and I'm like, this is free flowing hockey. It's kind of going back and forth. The checking is not that tight. Then you look at the Sens and Canes, and you're like, there is no room anywhere. So. Yeah, that's
crazy.
7-0, and that just goes to show that their system, they're on to something over there, and that's probably why. Tonight is Game 4. I'm not gonna watch because it's I don't really care all that much at this point there, but it's not entertaining and exciting hockey at all times, but it's winning hockey, and if you're a fan of that team, that's your favorite type of hockey. So.
Yeah. I mean, remember 2016, 2017? We weren't exactly the most exciting team to watch. But we came within a goal of the Cup Finals.
Yeah,
so
it's another one we're going to talk about. Yeah. But yeah, for sure. I mean, it has its place in championship pedigree teams, right? And that would be a nice clash to see how does Colorado adapt to a team like that, right? Those are two mirror images of, or I guess the yin to the yang and whatnot. So that'd be interesting. But right now, the dog is just dog walking every opponent he's had in his sights, and I want to see Colorado win too. That's my team. I want to see win. I want McKinnon to get another cup. Same with Makar and Landeskog. That's another great story. I didn't think he'd ever play again. Honestly, it wasn't looking good. So I'm happy to see that he's actually contributing too. And another thing I want to say. Hand up, Parker Kelly. Thought that guy was not an NHLer on any other team other than the Sens, and I'm so happy that he's 20-goal man on the fourth line. Best fourth liner in the league, possibly. Good for you. Go get a cup, fella.
Yeah, no, that's true. I always forget that Parker Kelly's on Colorado, and then you see like, wow, this guy had 20 goals this season. It's like, hey, I've always liked him. Here he was a spark plug. Like he would play physical even though he's pretty small. Get in people's faces, pitch in a little bit of like goals here and there. But yeah, no, I'm super happy for him there, and yeah, I agree. Yeah. Go get a cup.
Yeah, it would be great to see. Anything else to add on the playoffs so far, Matt? Before we go over a look at next year.
For myself, I've said all that I've had to say, so it's up to you guys.
So, for just the last thing that just happened in the world of hockey really was draft lottery. It's always a big event in terms of who's going to get the first overall pick. Gavin McKenna, been hyped for years. I don't know if you guys watch the lottery live, but they did a new format this year where people always say, like, oh, like, how does this get decided? And backdoor numbers are assigned to teams, blah, 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 blah. But this year they actually did 4 live draws with like a lottery ball with a number on it would pop up, and each team had a set number of combinations assigned to it. I feel like Matthew Schaefer right now explaining it to Matt Martin's kids. And then as the numbers popped up, you could see the teams in the running, what their chances were to win the lottery based on the numbers that had appeared. So by the time the 3 first draws were done, the majority of the teams were eliminated. And then you knew, like, okay, if this lottery ball pops up, this team has won the lottery. So it made for, I don't know what you thought about it, but I thought it was actually exciting and pretty cool to see, okay, don't have this number pop up, or if these 3 numbers pop up, this team wins. Like, I kind of liked it. What were your thoughts on it before the result, of course?
Yeah, I remember for years it was Bill Daly, and he was just there, and then and he's like with the 10th pick, and then he just take out the team's logo. He's like the Ottawa Senators, and then it's like, okay, there you go, that's a great pick. But yeah, and then it's like when it got to the top 3, it's like, all right, we're gonna go to break, and when we come back, we'll show you the logo. So yeah, it does make it a little more exciting for sure, and to see like what the process actually is, and it didn't exactly go the way we wanted to, but hey, it is what it is.
So you do agree though that it was overall more entertaining. Did you get to watch, Matt? Were you watching live?
Not at all, but hearing you explain it, Eric, that does sound way more exciting than what it's been done how it's been done previously. So that's cool.
I liked it. And then of course, like, you saw number 12 next to the Leafs. Like, that was their one number where if that number pops up, they win the lottery. I'm like, please not 12, please not 12. I remember, like, who cares, whoever wins. Freaking number 12 pops up. I almost like shut the TV off right away. I was so mad. Such an undeserving lottery win, and every Leaf fan listening right now, you know you don't deserve this. You've had 10 years of you had your core 4, you made the playoffs consistently. Sure, you were bad for a little bit before then, and then you had to rebuild, but you had your run of success. Now, where I'm kind of convincing myself to not be too concerned here is that they did just that, had 10 years of success, and that equated to 2 rounds won in all those years with those teams, with that core. So should I be flipping out? It's the end of the world. They won the first overall pick.
Yes.
I do think it is annoying. Objectively, it's frustrating, and they don't deserve it, but it's not like, okay, Leafs are going to dominate again now. They still have a lot of stuff to figure out. But overall, I'm pretty pissed they won the lottery, though. It's very undeserving and frustrating for like a team like Vancouver. I'm just gutted for them. They lost their superstar in Quinn Hughes. Who knows what's going on with Pettersson, and they dropped from 1 to 3. Like, sucks for them. Anyways, that's it to start.
They are the most tortured fan base in the NHL. I saw this picture the other day. Give me a sec here. Sorry. And it was like, so basically the Canucks right here. So since 2014, they've had some good years, but mostly some pretty bad years, and they've always had a good chance to climb. every single time that they've been in the lottery, they've dropped.
Yeah.
And so,
oh my God.
So basically, it says that's a 98.57% chance that they would have won at least one time across all those lotteries, but every single time their pick is dropped, and it's like, how? Now, obviously, the draft, it's kind of a crapshoot, so it's like, who knows if the number one, is he the next Neil Yakupov or is he a Connor McDavid? You gotta wait to find out. But I feel bad for the Canucks fans, even though like I've never been a big Vancouver guy. I'm just like meh.
Yeah.
I'm just like they're a team basically.
Yeah.
And then so the Leafs do end up getting first overall, which I assume that they'll take Gavin McKenna. But with them hiring Matt Sundin, does he take the Swede?
Oh man.
Who is he's a little more well-rounded than McKenna and does have a higher floor. But McKenna does have a much higher ceiling, and they want someone to set up Matthews.
Yeah.
And well, McKenna's the guy there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. For sure.
Yeah. Matt, what about you? Thoughts when they won the lottery, and what do you think? What do you think this means for the Leafs going forward? What does their team look like, you think, with now that they won the lottery?
First of all, I was gutted when I saw that the Leafs won the first overall pick. I don't like seeing that, mainly because all the Leafs fans I work with, they're very annoying. This is why I don't like the Leafs, because of their fan base. They annoy the shit out of me. I think this is a good spot. This is good if you're a Leaf fan, this is great because you did 10 years of playoffs, then you missed it once. Now you get the first overall right away. I think this is going to spark in you, like, push for we can do better. Or, we're going to have a little tiny rebuild, but we're going to be back to Golden Age Leaf era, which God knows when that. I don't remember when last time they had a big Golden Age where they were going deep in the playoffs. I probably wasn't alive, but maybe the 90s. But this is good in the sense that it's good for Leaf hockey, but it's bad for us because we hate the Leafs fan base and the team. And honestly, like, devil's advocate here, will it be cool? We get to see, McDavid plays in the West, but we'll get to see McKenna close to home, against us. No, not a bright spot, Eric.
I was going to say, like, literally the second they won the lottery, I became the biggest McKenna hater.
Same.
Instant hate for McKenna. Sorry.
Yeah, I was there, I'm like, man, I hope this guy busts, and then they trade him, and then he becomes good. After that, it's fine.
Exactly. That's my thought as well.
God.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it raises questions, and like it probably makes Matthews more likely to, okay, let's see what we do next year kind of thing. But I also think he's going to leave once his contract's done. I'll be very shocked unless the Leafs become a true juggernaut in those 2 years that he re-signs. I think he's leaving too. But I think adding that guy makes it be like, okay, let's see what he can do in terms of, is he the Marner, like a Marner 2.0 kind of thing, or if they compare him to Kucherov as well, I've seen, but we'll see. So I think that gives them, spark plug. Maybe free agents want to come there, but they were bad this year. Like, that's a bad team, and I do think a lot of their success is going to hinge not on McKenna, but on what kind of player Matthews is now. Is he still this top, whatever you want to call him, player in the league? Or has he hit his ceiling and is now on the back nine, maybe earlier than he'd like? Because we talk about injury prone, like that guy's the face of injury prone right now. Jack Hughes gets that bad rap, but Matthews is right there with him as well and is ineffective when he's not really going. So,
yeah, and then obviously, that there's, this is where I guess the conspiracy theory kind of comes in. The morning of the draft lottery, the reports come out. Matthews might not want to stay in Toronto.
Right.
He wants to see what they do. 10 hours later, they get the first pick. It's kind of like, food for thought, no?
Oh, God.
It is pretty crazy. And I think overall, though, he looks at this like, okay, this is definitely a sweetener for me to want to stick around. Like, you're not looking at getting the first overall pick and thinking, like, I got to bounce. And a reason why I think he'll stick around is because the Leafs can't even afford to do a rebuild because they don't own their first round picks for the next 2 years. So you talk about, okay, they trade Matthews and get a lot back. Okay, they still can't afford to be a bottom team because then Philly has that first overall pick again, or let's say, or is it protected? I don't know if it ends up, there is some protection.
No,
I don't think so though.
Next year's Leafs first round pick is Boston's. The year after is Philly.
Okay.
For Scott Lawton.
So,
trade.
And Carlo. The Carlo trade is why that pick got bumped. So so they can't afford to be bad. So that's why I don't think they can trade Matthews, who would be like, that's the guy you trade in my opinion. Because Nylander, while I do think he's very inconsistent, at least is consistent in a way where he can give you 80 points easily. If Matthews is hurt, no, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, it is glorious to see how it fell off the wagon. Like the wheels fell off when Marner left, who apparently he was the big problem in Toronto, right? Like that's the reason why they didn't have success. But love to see him get a Hattie and an apple last night for Vegas. Like in saying I hate Vegas, if they were to win the cup, parade that thing down. Was it King Street, Queen Street? I don't even know, but I would love that for him. To rub it in their stupid fan base's faces. Yeah, except a few exceptions to that, of course. I don't want to shots fired at all my Leaf fan friends, but
yeah, no, it's funny because since now I may have the year wrong, but I think it's like since 2019, if you combine all the Leafs playoff games, you know who the leading scorer is?
I'm assuming Mitchie Mitch.
It is Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, his stats in game 6-7. I didn't mean to say that, by the way.
I was gonna do this, but
yeah. Like, you know, the stats there aren't great, and then people were like, "Oh, he's not a clutch player." So, and it's like, it does have some merit, but then with Canada, he's had a couple of clutch moments. So
yep, agreed.
Yeah, and then but yeah, no, like, it was pretty funny seeing him score a hat trick in the playoffs because you're like, oh, you can do that for Toronto, which hey, it's fine. Mm-hmm. But now there's no chance that Matthews gets traded, at least this offseason.
No, agreed.
And speaking of the offseason, we'll get that soon, but like, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens just league wide because there's not a lot of truly bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and even the good team, like, we don't know who had the Jets. Like, maybe people did have the Jets falling off like this. Like, you win the President's Trophy, and this has happened in the past too. President's Trophy, then you're out of the playoffs next year. Like, I find there's so much parity in this league. You don't know who's going to do what next year. In the Atlantic, any of these teams, like even Toronto could bounce back. And also, any of the teams who made the playoffs could fall off. Like, it's
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Boston, I don't see them as a lock next year. I think Montreal is a lock next year. I still think Tampa, like, I like their team, even though, they're starting to not be the same Tampa of old. I still think I think we can make, like, am I just delusional, hopeful, I don't know, maybe. Is Florida back in? I hope not, but they could
probably
be. I do not, like, that'd be the biggest gut blow would be Brady to the Panthers. Like, I really hope, even if he tells them, trade me here, that we don't trade him out of spite and let him walk there. I'd rather that than trade him 2 years earlier.
Really?
I don't know. I don't want him to be in our division on that team of scumbags.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, because like if you look at just the league as a whole, like, there's really only Vancouver that are really, really, really bad.
Terrible.
And like, they're gonna trade some guys. For the Sens, I would maybe look at a Brock Besser. It does come with risk because, like, he has, I think, another 5 years left on his contract, and if he doesn't produce, then it's like we're stuck with that.
Yeah.
Calgary's still kind of meh, but they do have really good goalies, which helps a lot.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, if you look at any other team, like, there's not a truly bad team in the East because even with the Leafs, they were second last in the division. They still had 80-something points.
Yeah.
That's not a horrible team.
No.
So, and then Florida can easily bounce back if they're healthy.
Yeah.
Which is not fun to say, but it's very possible. So, like, all of these teams are going to try and get better. And, like, the free agent class is not good. Like, you have Alex Tuck, who's the best forward. And then you have Anthony Mantha. He scored 61 points on Pittsburgh this year, but he did nothing in playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, there's just not a lot.
I don't even know who else is there. Like, I like Tuck a lot, but he's asking for like 10, I think. I hope I would like to see Buffalo win the next round, obviously, and then he just re-ups with Buff, which may be like the detriment of the Sens, but he takes a little less, stays there. Like, I don't think the thing is are there ever going to be even great UFA class? Like, this year was supposed to be a good one, but everyone signed or re-upped on their teams or got traded, like Panarin, and he signed in LA. So you got to just draft or trade well, I guess.
Yeah, and then, but even then, on the trade front, when you have all these teams that are trying to get better, like, you know, if let's say, again, I don't think he's leaving Dallas, but let's say that Jason Robertson is, like, available. You're going to have, like, 12 teams probably really trying to get him, and then the price to get him is going to be more and more and more as the bidding war happens. And then, so, yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
I do love to see, like, a random blockbuster Quinn Hughes trade moment. Like, those, when I get that notification, that fires me up. I do like to see those big, unexpected, although somewhat talked about trades, and that could be what happens with Brady, right? So it won't be too unexpected for us. But whenever those trades hit, like, I enjoy seeing those. It's a good little dopamine rush.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that I'm looking at that the Sens can maybe look at too. Is Jordan Kyrou. He had an off year in St. Louis, but he has the speed to keep up with Timmy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, so he had an off year, so maybe you can get him for a little cheaper. But again, if you make him you know, if you say like, hey, Jordan Kyrou he's on the block, you're gonna have a lot of teams that are there for him. There was rumors that they're gonna trade Robert Thomas as well. I don't think that they do that this year because they had a really good, like, last 25 games. Like, they were gonna squeak in again, just like they did last season. And I think it was Thomas, Holloway, and Snuggerud. They were the best line in the entire league for the last, like, 20, 25 games. So I don't think that they trade Thomas. From Seattle, I'm looking at a guy like Jared McCann. He scored 40 once. You know, is he going to score 40 here if he does come here? Probably not. But give me 30 goals, and right there, we're already a better team.
I don't hate him, McCann, because he'd be easier to get than Kyrou, cheaper too, and is versatile. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I don't think we're gonna trade for Thomas. We don't have center needs, right? That's the thing.
That's easily
we're pretty
our
set
strongest.
at center.
Yeah, that's our strongest spot. And, like, you know, if you have to give an asset away from the current roster, it would probably be a center. To, you know, like, now, do I want to trade a Pinto or a Cousins? No. Greg, even then, like, he had a bit of a weird year, but he still has some value.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting just to watch to see what happens in the off season for sure.
Oh, agreed. Matt, do you have anyone that would be targeting for the Sens on your mind that we'd see as a fit for us?
I haven't really given much thought to, like, who would we get. More thought to, like, I think who would we trade away, and I think I could see a Batherson being traded away for one of these pieces, or Brady leaving. Like, that's my prediction for next year is a Batherson or Tkachuk leaving or being traded, I mean, and then we still make the playoffs. We finish, like, 5, 6, 7, or 8th. But yeah, I haven't really given thought to, like, players to target from other teams. Like, that's your area of expertise. I just can see Batherson being traded for some reason. He's very streaky. He has value, but he's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde out there.
Yeah, with Batherson, I think this is 8th or 9th year in the league, and every single year he improved on his point total from the year before.
That's good.
But he does have 1 year left on his contract, which is like really cheap. I think he's making less than $5 million, right?
4.9.
Yeah, which is like
steal.
Wow.
In this economy,
Yeah.
That is a bargain.
That's an entry level deal right there.
That's a bargain. So he does have some value, but like I would love a way to get another scorer, and I know this might be complete like fantasy land because you do have to trade something good to get something good.
Yeah.
Like to somehow keep Batherson, and then he's your second line your second line right winger that has scored 30 goals this year, and then you have another 30 goal scorer playing with Stützle, and you just have more offense. Now, is that realistic? Probably not, because again, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to get better, and it's going to cost a lot. Now, I'm looking at like, does Staios trade Jordan Spence because he had a great year? Does he use his value to get better up front? I don't know. It's tough because like he was so good this year.
Yeah.
And this is maybe a hot take or whatever, but this is just my gut feeling, and I've kind of had this for about a year. Is that Staios? So you have you have Sanderson and Shabbat on the left side, and obviously Sanderson is better than Shabbat, but Shabbat is kind of similar where he's a smooth skating D. He's not big. He can put up points, but obviously with Sanderson being PP1, Shabbat he doesn't get those chances, and I feel as though Staios wants to get bigger on the back end. So it's like, do you trade Thomas Chabot? Now, again, I don't want this to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen.
Trading away your captain just like that, eh?
Hey.
I feel like Chabot trade is not that crazy, especially now that his cap hit maybe a few years ago. You're looking at like, wow, he's going to be hard to move off of because he hasn't really put up that many, like, numbers-wise. Like, I think he has one 50-point year, and then has been, like, a 40 or so point guy, which, like, 8 mil a few years ago, that's tough. Now there's guys like Ivan Provorov making similar, if not more, who are doing
Darnell
less. Nurse, there we go.
Oh.
So I don't think trading Chabot is that crazy and impossible, and there are teams who would benefit of a D like that. Like, I'm thinking of Seattle, honestly. Like, I don't even know, like, Vince Dunn is kind of their number one D, but after that it's pretty thin. Like, that's not really something I'd given thought to, but I don't think it's that crazy. It'd be, again, a blow to the team, like, morale. Like, who's going to be calling Joey's to get a resi? I don't know, but they'd figure it out. But I do think if you do get rid of, like, the Batherson for Kyrou swap, for example, you're not even getting better in the sense that you've just essentially replaced Batherson with Kyrou. We haven't added a new top six winger, right? Which we do need to add. So if you want to add, you got to give up. It's not an addition by subtraction here. Maybe you part ways with your first round pick next year. Like, I feel like that pick should be on the table, especially if the intention is to keep Brady. You do what you can to bring in reinforcements and fill that gap because, my God, we've seen that Ridley Gregg is not a top six forward.
No, he can fill in at times, but you want a bona fide top six guy. And it's the same thing, like sometimes we put Nick Cousins on the top line, and then he would have a couple good games, but then he's not used to playing that ice time. So
nor should he be.
Yeah, and like I would re-sign him. I thought he had a great year. At like league minimum for someone making league minimum salary, like he was awesome. This is like kind of my feeling is that with our prospect pool being so at best, like you almost have to go all in the next 2 years, and then it's like, if in 2 years' time it didn't work, then it didn't work, and we can go through another 8-year rebuild. Yeah, like that's kind of my sense. It's like our only prospect that I keep is Yakimchuk. Other than that,
are you a Holiday guy or no?
I like him a lot. Could he be can he be one answer to the top 6 group? Probably not next season. Because kind of like Yakimchuk, it's his boots. He needs to work on that. But he is a very smart player.
Oh yeah.
And he's a great passer too. I actually went to Laval in January, I think, to watch Laval against Belleville.
Yeah.
And Halliday was easily the smartest player on the ice. He was making passes that I'm like, how did he even see that guy there? And so it's like, it's fairly obvious that like he has the brain to do well. It's just, will he ever get 50, 60 points? I don't know. But as a fourth line center right now with some PP2 time, that's great.
Me too. Like, I don't know what his ceiling and trajectory looks like, but he's our most promising forward prospect in my opinion. And I like what I've seen of him so far. Big frame too, silky hands. I think he maybe is in the AHL for a bit of the year next year and then gets a look later. But I think it's someone to keep an eye on and see how he develops in the next few years, and could end up being like, I think best case scenario, this guy ends up being a second line forward for us. But if he can be like a third to second line guy, like that'd be amazing. So it's him, Yak. That's kind of it. Like Blake Montgomery, I know it maybe is seen as decently.
He has wheels.
Big bod too. Yeah. So we'll see. But otherwise, I agree with you that the cupboards are empty basically. Gotta just put your chips into the middle and go all in at this point, and just try. Damn it, try.
Yeah, because like, in 2 years' time, let's say, you don't really want to be there and be like, okay, we didn't make this trade because we didn't want to give up Blake Montgomery, let's say.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't be him because his value is not crazy high.
No.
But and then it's like that trade is the one that could have put you over the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but I feel as though that our prospect pool is a lot better than what Dorian when he left 2 years ago. It's like already better than what it was, which is good. But obviously this season with the 32nd pick, that's
that's Liam Ruck right there waiting.
You know what though? That's literally who I want. is one of the it's either
the Rucks.
Yeah, either him or Robrek.
David Rubrick. I think it's David. I don't know, but
is it Ryan?
Yeah, I think it's Ryan. Yeah.
I think it's Ryan too. And he was maybe supposed to be a top 5 draft pick.
That.
Then he had like a meh year, so he dropped on the list. But just get like a high skilled forward, because we don't have a lot of that in the system.
Agreed. Man, honestly could be here all day talking about what ifs and ifs, this and that. But I think, like I said, could do this all day. But
love talking hockey.
Oh, same, man. Matt, anything else to add on the Sens and just future? What are you thinking before we get into some quick random recommendations?
No, I got nothing else to add. Obviously, you guys know the prospects, all the names, and it was very fun listening to you two go on off on the Sens prospects, because I'm learning a lot right now. So, no, I got nothing else to add, but just that the future is bright in the next couple of years, and I can't wait to watch the Sens next year.
Let's go. We're all optimists here. We believe, and looking forward to seeing what we do in 2026, 2027. But yeah, Riley, we end off every episode. Just recommend a thing or two that we've been either watching, listening to. Could even be an activity you went out somewhere and want to recommend it. Do you have anything that you have been taking in or done that you would like to share to the people as a recommendation? Could be anything.
So with my fiance being pregnant,
Let's go.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, she's due June 29th, so it's coming up quick. For whatever reason, the one craving she's had recently is ramen.
Okay.
So we've been to a couple places, and our favorite so far is it's on Bank. It's ramen. What's it called? Sorry, give me 2 seconds
Cut
here.
this out.
Yeah, my bad.
That's all good.
Do I have it in my notes? Sorry, I have a list of restaurants here. Where is this restaurant? Here. Ramen Ishin. It's in the Glebe, and yeah, it was really good. It's my favorite so far. Yeah, so that's the random thing that I got.
Random
I love
ramen
it.
recommendation.
Yeah, there you
love
go.
it. Matt, anything
We never
you-
get a restaurant. Yeah, we never get a restaurant recommendation. And now that
I love trying.
I'm thinking about it, Eric, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't eat out that often. It's always shawarma palace or sushi out here.
Hey,
But,
grilled shawarma is better than shawarma palace in my
I
opinion.
don't think I've ever been there. Grilled
No?
shawarma.
Oh.
Where is that?
It's on 10th line near the Sobeys.
Okay, yeah, no, never been to
It's-
that one.
It's that's a good
I
one.
need to
Better
try
than
that one too.
Palace. That's a
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a hot take.
No, it's because the owner it used to be the chef at the Shawarma Palace.
Oh, okay. So,
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
that's a good
Giving the
recommendation
secret
there, Riley.
sauce,
Actually,
yeah,
I'll try that.
Definitely.
Myself, I'll just recommend 2 things quickly in succession. First thing, I highly recommend the Star Wars animated show Maul Shadow Lord. We're going to be discussing it on the podcast for sure, Eric, but I just want to not give my thoughts, but just highly recommend it. The movie I want to talk about is I recently watched Send Help, the new Rachel McAdams movie, Dylan O'Brien, directed by Sam Raimi. I had a blast watching this movie. It's on Disney Plus right now. Send Help is like a dark comedy, horror, thriller, like whatever you want. There's so many genres in this movie, so many little all the blending of different things. And I was not bored for a second watching this movie. I thought it was really fun, and where it went, I liked the last 20-30 minutes. I know some people might not like that, but to me it went exactly where I wanted it to go, and also with the conclusion, the outcome. So Send Help was a really fun movie. Not a lot of characters or actors in the movie, same setting, in close setting. I really enjoyed it. So Send Help on Disney Plus, I recommend.
Yeah, solid movie. I saw it in theaters. It was fun to see in theaters because there was a lot of reactions to things that happened, and like seeing a horror movie that typically they have a lot of comedy in them as well, that people were having strong reactions to. I quite enjoyed it. It made the viewing experience better for sure. Have you seen Send Help?
I'm not a big movie guy.
Fair enough.
I am planning to go see Project Hail Mary soon. I finished the book about 2 weeks ago, so I got to go see the movie.
Oh, nice.
Okay, nice. Well, I have 2 movies to recommend, or just talk about anyway. So, first one I'll say is Blade Runner. Finally got to see that. That's like an older, classic sci-fi that I'd just missed, really, and I quite enjoyed, honestly. Would definitely recommend if you haven't seen it, or if you have, rerun it. I think there's a lot going on where they touch on a lot of themes about man versus creation and slavery, free will, stuff like that, all in a digestible way where it's not beating you over the head and too complicated. Like, it's just Harrison Ford's a cool detective at the same time, right? Like, there's a thriller detective story in there that I didn't expect, so I quite like to see that. And even though at times I found it did look a little dated, it's still cool to see like how practical it looked as well. It wasn't all CGI and green screen. It was, they made these flying cars and he actually sat in that chair and everything. So I like, it has a charm to it that I quite enjoy. It's Blade Runner. Definitely recommend if you've never seen it. Other movie, I know, Matt, you've seen. I kind of want to talk about it real quick. I don't know if you have, Riley, but Super Mario Galaxy movie. Andy and I went to see it. We're both big Nintendo people, so I feel like that affected our reaction to it, where we liked seeing the world, love the characters, but overall we're a little disappointed in that, like, the story itself found not the strongest.
but do you play Mario games for the story?
We don't play Mario games for the story,
said.
no. So we play Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. So there's literally no story in those two games. But you're right. Like, the characters are what you're there for. It's cool seeing, like, Princess Peach. In my opinion, Peach is the best character in these two movies. She's actually a badass, and Mario straight up sucks. I'm just gonna say, Chris Pratt. He's just there for a paycheck. Zero charisma. His line delivery sounds lazy. Like, I'm giving it more energy here than this guy rolling up to the studio. So I feel like there is a path forward for these movies without Mario. Give me a Luigi's Mansion movie, a Donkey Kong movie, a Princess Peach Rosalina movie. I'd rather that. And I want to see some Star Fox stuff as well down the road. But
I think they're doing a Zelda movie, right?
They are doing a Zelda movie, yes. I don't know when that's coming, but do you have similar thoughts, Matt, on the Galaxy movie?
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was hugely disappointing after the first one, which I've seen like 100 times now because of my girlfriend's daughter. But this one was like, they laid a goose egg. This one was so disappointing. Like, I understand video games, they don't have to have a story to be fun, but this is a movie where a story is extremely important. Every good animated movie ever made has a great story, and this is not a great animated movie. The Easter eggs were great, and like the cool homages and stuff, and seeing the different characters was fun, but like, oh my god, was this a slog sometimes. And we could have written the movie, like, guys, like, it's very lazy filmmaking, stunning visuals, but very lazy storytelling, I should say, and by some of the voice actors too. So yeah, I was disappointed, but you know what? Yeah. I'm glad I watched it, but it's a one and done. Yeah,
agreed. I think it was more geared for kids, to be honest. Like, I do think, and I wrote in my review, that I feel like if I had seen this as a kid, I probably would have loved it. I would have been a huge Bowser Jr. guy, just because he does some, like, kind of cool stuff. Fox would have been my hero. Like, I just know this was made for kids, but I wish they would have included more, where I didn't have that feeling with the first one. So I kind of wish they had some maybe little jokes for adults in there, but
I liked the first one a lot.
Same.
I didn't see the second one yet because, again, like, we don't go to the theaters too often. But yeah, I'll probably watch it someday. Maybe on like a long flight, you know.
There you go. That's perfect for that, actually. Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I'm more of a gamer and a reader.
Okay.
Then I'll watch the odd movie here and there, but yeah.
I'll just put you on the spot. Any books that you'd recommend? One, even just one. We're readers ourselves.
Do you guys read fantasy?
Yep.
So right now I'm reading the First Law series by Joe. It's so good, eh?
Oh, I preached that series like for years on the podcast. So, I read all his books. Yeah.
So right now I'm reading The Wisdom of Crowds, which is the last one of the Age of Madness series. I'm about 120 pages in, and it's pretty cool because it's like socialist, communist kind of revolution, and then it's like what happens after. It's like, oh, we overthrew the monarchy. Now what?
Yeah.
And then so obviously that's where I am. And have you read it?
Nope.
No, it's so good because, like, in the first series, there's like this wizard character, and you're like, oh, this is like Gandalf kind of thing. But I'm assuming, Matt, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
Yeah, and but no, I highly recommend it. It's really good.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm literally looking for a new series of books. I am gonna get back, Matt. I'm gonna finish the Red Rising trilogy.
Oh my god, that is my favorite. Wait. Is it my favorite? It's at least in my top 3 favorite series ever. Oh my god.
Okay.
Wait, are you reading?
I'm on the third one right now. I've read 1 and 2. I kind of blitzed 1 and 2, and then started 3, and I got like 150 in, and then for some reason I kind of just stopped reading, and now it's been a few months since then. But I have to. I think I'm just gonna restart book 3 from the beginning.
I find the second series even better.
Matt, you as well.
The next 3, yeah.
Yeah, and then the 4th one's coming out. I think next year sometime. Can't wait.
All right, so I got to get back into it. I had a buddy as well ask me about like where I was at with it, and I kind of just shamefully told him what I just said again. So it's time. Got to get back in the Red Rising world.
Yeah, if I can give quickly my like top 3 series of for fantasy books really quickly. 1, the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. It's kind of like some Asian fantasy mixed in with like like mafia. Kind of it's pretty cool.
I heard of this. Yeah,
it's so good. I should read it again. But anyways, and then number 2 is A Song of Ice and Fire, even though it'll never be done.
Yeah,
it's too bad. But,
great books.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, it's probably Red Rising.
Okay.
So, but that's off the top of my head because like First Law is right there. So there you go.
Okay, great. We started off with the ramen and ended off with Asian fantasy, covering it's cyclical in a sense, but
exactly.
No, great stuff. I mean, that's all I got to recommend right now as well, and a lot of fun with you on here, Riley. A lot of fun talking Sens with you both, and any final notes for the listeners?
Thanks a lot for having me on. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I hope I was a decent guest.
Crushed it.
And if there's ever any something like hockey talks or whatever, I'd love to be back on.
And I was gonna say we might have to tap you on for a book talk one of these pods.
I was just gonna say
I'm down. I'm mostly a fantasy guy and fantasy sci-fi. That's more or less what I read, but
we'll circle back on this for sure.
Sounds good.
But Matt, always a pleasure. Any final notes for the listeners?
Thank you everybody for listening to our hockey talk. I also want to thank you, Riley, for coming on. You were great. Loved hearing you talk and display your vast knowledge of hockey, and it was awesome to hear. And at the end there, maybe possible fantasy book pod upcoming one day. That's awesome. And then, thanks everybody who listens to the podcast. We really appreciate it, and I hope you're having a great summer right now.
Well said, Matt. So thanks a lot everybody for listening. Stay tuned for episodes dropping every 2 Mondays. Continue to enjoy the start of summer. Get on the golf course and cheer against the Habs. And peace.
Go Buffalo.
Let's go.